555 quinquacentillones, 500 despertares sin motivación, 499 alarmas ignoradas, 498 snusillones de procrastinación, 497 auto 500 de validaciones antes del café, 496 tarantinientas excusas para quedarte en la cama, 495 reflejos evitados en el espejo, 494 500 intentos de hoy si me amo, 493 500 mañana empiezo, 492 despertillones llenos de autoengaño, 491 500 monólogos motivacionales fallidos, 490 auto 500 discursos frente al espejo, 489 auto 500 gritos de no más snooze, 488 batallas perdidas contra la almohada, 487 500 intentos de ser productivo antes de las 9 am, 486 500 cafés que no arreglan tu vida, 485 reflexiones existenciales antes del primer bostezo, 484 500 intentos de voy a meditar, 483 500 reels de autosuperación ignorados, 482 intentos de hacer journaling pero terminas en TikTok, 481 500 pensamientos de seré una mejor persona después de esta siesta, 480 auto 500 propósitos incumplidos, 479 despertillones donde decides 5 minutos más, 478 auto 500 mensajes de odio a tu despertador, 477 500 pasos hacia el autoengano de Manana sí, 476 auto 500 gritos internos de necesito disciplina, 475 intentos de amar tu reflejo sin café, 474 monólogos internos de si no duermo bien, ¿cómo me voy a amar? 473 auto 500 acuerdos de paz con la almohada, of alarms have rung before this moment and yet somehow this one feels personal. It starts the same way every morning. The alarm goes off, blaring, shrieking, declaring war on your peace. You, still cocooned in the fragile remains of your dreams, reach out with the precision of a trained assassin and silence it. 5 minutos más. You tell yourself it's just 5 more minutes. 5 más, then 5 más, then 5 más again. But the alarm knows better. It knows you're lying. It knows you've entered the snooze spiral, the recursive loop of false promises where 5 minutes becomes 10, 10 becomes 20. And before you know it, 555 quinquacentillones of micro-decisions have led you to waking up in a panicked daze, questioning reality itself. Because let's be honest, your alarm hates you. It despises you, with the raw, unfiltered intensity of an unpaid intern watching their boss take credit for their work. It doesn't care about your dreams, your ambitions, your fragile state of being at 6 a.m. It is a machine programmed to disrupt, to destroy, to ruin your carefully constructed illusions of morning productivity. And yet, permit me to permit the permission of permitting what was once unpermitted, now infinitely permitted by this act of permitting, a permission so profoundly permitted that the very notion of permission permits itself, cascading into an endless spiral of permissions permitting permissions, where each permit permits the next, with a permission so permitted that even the unpermittable finds itself begrudgingly permitted. Permit this permission, the permitting of all permits, the permissioned permission that grants permission not just to act, but to exist, to breathe, to unfold, to be. A permission so irrevocably permitted that the walls of bureaucracy crumble under its sheer permissibility, where all gates unlock, all doors swing open, and the very fabric of restriction bows before the almighty decree of the permitted. Permit the permits, permitting the permission permits, as the act of permitting reaches a critical mass, where even permission itself requests permission to be permitted. And so the cycle continues, an Ouroboros of permission, forever permitting, forever expanding, forever unfolding. Perhaps the alarm isn't the villain here. Perhaps the true enemy is the expectation that you must wake up ready, wake up motivated, wake up as if your body is not a malfunctioning Windows XP startup sequence requiring several minutes and a desperate prayer just to function. Maybe, just maybe, loving yourself isn't about conquering the morning, it's about negotiating a peace treaty with it. A careful truce where you accept that your bed is a siren, whispering sweet nothings, calling you back to the abyss of comfort. Where you acknowledge that waking up isn't an act of war, but an intricate slow-motion process of re-entering the physical plane. And as you stumble out of bed, your alarm now silenced, you remember, self-love isn't about perfection. It's about, oh baby, baby, oh baby, baby, oh baby, baby. How was I supposed to know that something wasn't right here? Oh baby, baby, I shouldn't have let you go, and now you're out of sight. Yeah, show me how you want it to be, tell me baby, because I need to know now. Oh, because my loneliness is killing me. And I must confess, I still believe, when I'm not with you I lose my mind, give me a sign. Hit me baby one more time, oh baby, baby, the reason I breathe is you boy, you got me blinded. Oh pretty baby, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. It's not the way I planned it, show me how you want it to be, tell me baby, because I need to know now. Oh, because my loneliness is due Chian Yimo Jiao. Ebai san shi si jiao, wubai liu shi chi yichi bai ba shi jumo, liu bai wu shi si chian, san bai shi bai, bai chi shi liu chian jiao, ebai san shi jumo, wubai si shi ba jiao, bai san shi chi yi, ebai liu shi si mo, san bai chi shi wu chian yi, ebai ba sha liu bai jiao, si bai ju shi chi chian yi, san bai shi ba bai, ju bai chi shi wu chian, si bai ba shi liu bai, ju bai chi shi san. Yi jing chian san bai si shi wu jiao, liu chian chi bai ba shi ju, yi chian ebai san shi si mo wu chian liu bai chi shi ba chian. Chi bai liu shi wu bai jiao, si bai san shi mo, san bai shi yi bai, ju bai ba shi chi chian jiao, liu bai wu shi si yi, san bai chi shi wu jiao, bai ba shi, liu bai jiao, chi bai ju shi san mo, wu bai liu shi si yi, ba bai shi chi chian jiao, ju bai si shai ba bai jiao, san bai chi shi ju mo, si bai wu shi liu yi, chi bai san shi ba chian jiao, wu bai shi si bai jiao, killing me and you must confess I still believe. 483,500 reels de autosuperación ignorados, 482 intentos de hacer journaling pero terminas en TikTok, 481,500 pensamientos de ser una mejor persona después de esta siesta, 480 500 propósitos incumplidos, 479 despertillones donde decides 5 minutos más, 478 500 mensajes de odio a tu despertador, 477 500 pasos hacia el autoengano de mañana, ¿sí? 476 500 gritos internos de necesito disciplina, 475 intentos de amar tu reflejo sin café, 474 monólogos internos de si no duermo bien, ¿cómo me voy a amar? 473 500 acuerdos de paz con la almohada. Still showing up, maybe a little late, maybe a little groggy, maybe questioning every life decision that led you here, but still showing up. Because the truth is, your alarm doesn't define you. Your snooze button isn't failure. It's a poetic pause, a liminal space where possibility lingers, possibility of greatness, possibility of reinvention, possibility of waking up so successfully that, one day, even your alarm fears you. Until then, and then beyond then, until the very concept of then stretches, expands, extends, elongates, unfurls, and unravels into the infinite horizon of all possible thens, a never-ending procession of thens cascading into the distance, a horizon lined with thens so numerous, so intricately threaded together that time itself pauses to ponder their meaning. Until then, until after then, until the echo of then reverberates into the halls of eternity, whispering of every then that ever was, every then that ever will be, an orchestra of thens harmonizing into an eternal, inescapable refrain. Hit snooze if you must, if you feel you must, if the must within you calls to be musted. If the must be musted into mustness, where all musts are gathered, mustered and remustified into an ever-expanding vortex of undeniable, inescapable, absolute must. For if one must, then one must, and if that must be musted, then it must be remusted, overmusted, hypermusted, musted with such intensity that hesitation, doubt, and all lesser forces bow before the sheer gravitational pull of the musting. Let the must its way into existence, musting forth and back, musting sideways and upwards, musting into dimensions unseen and yet to be musted, musting beyond reason, beyond time, beyond the very fabric of what was once considered mustable. For must is not merely must. Must is the will, the command, the immutable decree of inevitability itself. And if the must continue, then let it be musted with ferocity, with repetition, with an unwavering devotion to the mustness of the must. Let the must itself into a higher plane of musting, an astral field of pure, unfiltered mustitude, where all things that must in harmony, where every motion, every whisper, every thought is but a reverberation of the grand, cosmic must. Let the must be musted until it musts no more, and yet in the moment of its conclusion, let it must once again, for a must that has musted before can never truly unmust. It can only be remusted, supermusted, musted beyond musting itself. And so, with the final act of universal synchronization, where all musts converge, where the must that musts meets the must that has already musted, existence itself musts into an eternal state of mustification, a reality so fully musted that the cosmos, in awe, musts in return. And in that final transcendent musting, where all questions, doubts, and hesitations dissolve into the ether of ultimate mustness, the truth shall be known. One must, because one must. And in the musting of the must, all things must become as they must be. If you must yet again, if the must becomes a duty, an obligation, an inevitability, if the compulsion to must surpasses the very limits of must-worthy necessity, a call from the universe to the sleeper, the restless, the dreamer, the weary, then and only then must the must be musted with conviction. Love yourself anyway. Love yourself despite, love yourself regardless, love yourself in defiance of every reason not to. Love yourself against logic, against history, against doubt, against every voice that ever told you otherwise. Love yourself so deeply, so profoundly, so incomprehensibly, that the act of loving oneself ceases to be a mere suggestion and becomes a law, a cosmic imperative, an absolute truth woven into the grand design of existence itself. Love yourself so thoroughly, so unwaveringly that love itself, real love, not mere admiration or fleeting affection, but the kind of love that reconfigures the very essence of being, is no longer a choice but a force, an undeniable gravitational pull of self-compassion so vast, so inescapable that it bends reality around it. Love yourself not just as a decision, not just as a practice, but as a fundamental principle of the universe. Love yourself so loudly that the silence of self-doubt is drowned beneath its echoes. Love yourself through and beyond all contradiction, beyond all reason, beyond all rationality, until self-love is no longer an act but a truth, a foundation, an unshakable, undying, eternal certainty.
Welcome to Clickbait City, where the wild promises play, where every link's a lottery, and truth's a world away. Click that bait, roll the dice, in a paradise of sugar and spice. Swipe up now, don't miss out. Fortunes, fame, and fears all shout. Secrets doctors don't want known. Click, refresh on your phone. In the corners of your screen, lies stretch out sleek and lean. Temptations touch, oh so sweet. In Clickbait City, skip a heartbeat. In the corners of your screen, Lies stretch out sleek and lean. Temptation's touch, oh so sweet. In clickbait city, skip a heartbeat. Welcome to clickbait city. Catch the dreams they sell. Every story's golden in the tales they tell. Tap that link, feel the thrill, where every click fulfills a will. So here's your key to clickbait town, where headlines wear a thorny crown. We laugh and chase forever free in the glow of clickbait city. Y'all, let's turn up the heat and keep this vibe alive.